Welcome to Rumble Book Club. I'm your host, Mike Hernandez, and this is the show where a normal guy like me can talk about interesting books I've read, old and new, good and bad. So if you like the show, you like the content, or maybe you just struggle with saying words like interesting too, well, you've come to the right place, my friend. Follow us on social media, or more importantly, subscribe right down below, and help us to share really cool books with really cool people like yourself. All right, friends, today we're going to take a look at a really cool book that I'm excited that I just finished, because now I get to share it with you. Today we're going to take a look at Texas Ranger, The Epic Life of Frank Hamer, the man who killed Bonnie and Clyde, by John Boessenecker. As a matter of fact, I did, in fact, research the name Boessenecker and listen to him say the name himself just so I wouldn't screw it up, because I've screwed up names on this show before. Anyway, Boessenecker is an award-winning author and historian of Old Western law and order, and he's also a former trial lawyer and officer himself. So he's written numerous books, including Shotguns and Stagecoaches. He's been awarded Best Nonfiction Writer twice in 2011 and 2013, as well as the Spur Award and Best Book Award by numerous outlets. So Texas Ranger gives a full and in-depth life of Texas lawman Frank Hamer, who dominated the Southern law and order realm for over 30 years, from the turn of the early 20th century to the mid-20th century. Looking at the aesthetics, it's a tight-packed little paperback with lots of text and imagery and even quotes here, but it definitely does give off that kind of old Western history text vibe, so that's pretty fascinating. But moving on to the readability, Boessenecker is incredibly thorough and intertwines a mind-numbing amount of dates, names, places, and stories into a seamless narrative of one of history's most interesting men. It's easy for the less acute mind like mine to lose focus occasionally when the names and dates come rapid fire really fast, but overall, Boessenecker keeps the story moving and has plenty of fascinating stories and anecdotes to make your imagination run wild with old Western bloodshed and scandal. So when it comes to the readability overall, I'll give it a very strong score of 7 out of 10. Now, more importantly, let's look at the content. Boessenecker gives a definitive life account of a deeply nuanced historical figure who had all but been lost to the passage of time. If not for him, the name Frank Hamer would have primarily been known by Hollywood cinephiles who saw an evil and tyrannical man of vengeance hunting after the romantic Bonnie and Clyde. This is thanks to the 1967 blockbuster that spun such a dishonest and wild yarn concerning Hamer that their slander seems almost intentional. But Hamer was not only a much more diverse figure than he was shown in the movie, but he was also a much better man. Although he did subscribe to flawed thinking of the times when it came to particularly race, Hamer had numerous lifelong friendships with fellow black Texans and placed himself directly in harm's way to save the lives of numerous black Americans from lynch mobs and riots. He faced the prospect of death multiple times in his fight to instill law and order against the rages of the Ku Klux Klan, and many times faced down a mob with nothing but his own gall and reputation as a fearless officer and brutal fighter. He was known throughout the West as one of the most lethal shots to ever carry a six-gun, and his rugged background made him an icon for many Hollywood stars who would emulate him on the screen in future years. He helped to defend the Texas border during times of desperado lawlessness, and even stood boldly against the Texas boss politics and political machines from multiple generations that were corrupt and hell-bent on destroying him if he got in their way, which he certainly did on numerous occasions throughout his long career. He was a man of many contradictions, as Boessenecker clearly explains. He could have a absolutely flaring temper that would have him literally kicking a reporter across a country road, and yet on the other side, the tenderness and love and care for his wife and stepchildren and children through all walks of their life. They always knew him as someone that was very gentle and loving and time-consuming with his children and with his wife. He had good humor to put on exhibitions with his skill with a gun on multiple occasions, which really surprised a lot of people around him, but he also had the humility to never seek publicity or money to exploit his adventures. At one point in time, shortly after killing the notorious Bonnie and Clyde, he was asked to sign a book deal, and they said, "How does $10,000 mean to you?" Meaning to sell his life story and about his account of killing Bonnie and Clyde. And he essentially told him, "Not one red cent, get the hell off the phone and leave me alone." Reading this story definitely told me that he was truly an American hero, and Boessenecker tells his life story with incredible detail. So as far as the content, it is a perfect score, hands down, 10 out of 10. One story that really sticks out to me that I think shows the inner character and stoicism of Frank Hamer in somewhat of a tragic way is upon hearing the news of the death of his son. He was in a hotel room when he learned that one of his sons was killed in combat during World War II. And upon hearing this, he moved his chair over to the hotel window, sat there smoking by the window, staring out with just a blank stare on his face, And he sat there for literally 2 days without eating, sleeping, drinking, nothing, and just bore the weight of this absolute horrific tragedy on his shoulders without either blowing out in anguish or trying to pretend that it didn't happen. But he just allowed this moment to sink in for a period of 2 days with this demeanor of stoicism. So I think that shows just what a rugged man in just a small and tragic way Frank Hamer was. I found this book at the Alamo. It was in the Alamo gift shop. I saw it up on the shelf, and I'm also very interested in Texas history. So I knew about the Texas Rangers. I didn't really know who Frank Hamer was, but I'm really glad I saw this on the shelf. I'm really glad John Boessenecker wrote this book because it is absolutely magnificent. You can find it at the Alamo gift shop to this day, or you can go online and buy yourself a copy. I highly recommend it. Anyone who's a history nut, Texas nut, or just a law and order nut, crime, whatever it is, you're going to get a real kick out of this book. I highly recommend it. The book is Texas Ranger by John Boessenecker. Go out and get yourself a copy. Thanks for watching, everybody, and go read something. Hey RBC fans, if you want to support the show in our mission to share great works of writing with the world, scan the barcode to make a generous donation, and if you donate $50 or more and leave a book title in our comments, I'll even feature your book choice on our next episode.